What is this? Oh, that's pretty funny. Aha, I like this. This is funny. This is actually funny. Like, is this how the audience is gonna see the live stream? Hey yo, I'm loving this. There's no way this is how they're gonna see it. Hold on. Yo, this is taking me out. I'm not gonna lie. I had no idea this was even possible. I'm not gonna do the whole stream like this. This is taking me out though, for real. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. No, we gotta take this off. Oh man. Hold on, hold on. Hold on. We're gonna put this on until we get it going. You know, I like to wait for a couple of people to get up in here. You know, gonna make it real sexy. You know, real grown and sexy around here. You know, crop top streaming everywhere. You know, real men don't wear crop tops. Real men put on the quarter zip. Quarter zip give you a big head because, you know, people start feeling you. You walk around the city, they like, yo, is that quarter zip? He's like, yeah, y'all know you see me. You know what I'm saying? Put down that Nike Tech, young man. Where your beard at? I grow a very patchy beard, so you know. You know what? TED Talk one time for the one time. Gentlemen, if you grow a patchy beard, cut that shit off. Unless you're married or you're in a relationship with a woman that you love and she loves your patchy beard, then that's fine. You know, like if you wear a haircut your woman likes because she's your woman and y'all love each other, that's fine. If you have your beard patchy because she likes it, then whatever. But if you got a patchy beard, sir, just cut it. Just cut it. Yeah, y'all done messed up. Let me find that big head feature. I'm finna start using that shit. Like from now on, when I use a point, excuse me, from now on, when I want to make a point, I'm gonna start going big head on y'all just to make the point. And also, y'all, I am feeling a little bit better. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mandy. That's very sweet. So y'all, what I realized that I've been doing unintentionally, I gotta repent to y'all. I've been unintentionally gatekeeping. You know, perfect example. This instrumental right here, I bought it a long time ago when I used to make music, like a long time ago. It's nostalgic. It's good smoking vibes, and I made a little song to it. The song wasn't great. Like I wasn't really great at making music when I made music. That's why I never really went anywhere. I'm the accountability police. But these days, or at least for the past couple of years, when I'm rolling up, I'll put this instrumental on. When I'm smoking, I'll put this instrumental on. Um, when I'm kicking it with a woman, you know, I'll put this instrumental on. It's good vibes. So what I think I should do is I'm gonna put it online for y'all on like a 2-hour loop. So you can play it when you sleep, you can play it when you smoking it, you can play it at a party. It should just be good vibes to have around always. Um, but it's especially good for the bros. You kicking it with a female, and you want to just set the mood, but you're not really trying to show her you setting the mood. But you kicking it, you want some background noise. You don't want the TV on. You don't want her to be distracted. You don't want to have a song. You heard me? Or you just got a smoke session going. Like I play this by myself a lot. And excuse me. The reason I say I'm gatekeeping is because, as a content creator and as somebody who makes music on the side too, I put out stuff that I think people are gonna listen to or want to hear. That I think it's gonna go viral. I'm really glad. I'm really glad that Myron is your daddy. But to spam him in my comment section is wild. So I put the content out, the music out that I think people are gonna want to hear. It might go viral or whatever. But I don't put out enough things that are for the people who I know just rock with me, and like my content is actually helping improve their life or the way they think, or they come to my page on a regular basis just because they fuck with me heavy. Like they're actual fans, which I love. People stop me on the street, tell me how much they love my stuff. It makes my whole day. So I'm gonna start putting out more things that I feel like just a hardcore core audience is gonna really like, and there's, or if it's like a small subsection of my audience who I think are really gonna like something. So that being said, I think there's a good part of my audience who's gonna really enjoy just having this instrumental, be able to pull it up for an extended period of time whenever they want to. You know. All right, it's been long enough. All right, y'all. So I don't know if y'all heard on TikTok. There's just been this thing going around called the Danish deception. It's been taking over TikTok. Like this girl, something is taking over TikTok when a girl posts a story. It's 10 minutes long and millions of people watch it, and then it's got 10, 15, 25 parts, and millions of people watch all of them. You hear me? All of them. This girl done had TikTok in a chokehold. Straight up. So, I heard it was a very dumbass story, but I've been peer pressured into doing this because I am on the internet for a living now. And apparently this is very entertaining. So, here we go. Hmm?
Power on.
Part 1. Okay, so it all started in June. The Danish Deception Part 1. Okay, so it all started in June of 2022. I was in a place in my life where I was working 2 jobs. I was working like a dog, and I knew I needed a break. So I reached out to my friend Sarah, who was living in Germany at the time with her husband, and I said, let's take a trip. Let's go somewhere in Europe. And she was so down, and we were trying to decide where we wanted to go. We decided to go to Hvar, Croatia, because we wanted somewhere that was like a cute local town that was by the water, but it wouldn't be as crazy busy as other places in Europe. And so we decided to go to Hvar. We flew to
People got money. You hear me? Like, let me tell you something. If you want to just take a trip and your immediate thought is going overseas, you get money. So I heard this is a dumb story and she's kind of goofy, but can we please just celebrate this young black sister out here getting this bread? Like, she getting money. And apparently he finessed her for all types of money. But you got to have the money to get finessed for it. So I just want to celebrate this young lady getting all this money. You heard me?
First, met there, took the ferry over. And at first I was just so amazed at how beautiful this place was. And so the first night, I was a little bit jet lagged, so we kept it very chill, grabbed dinner, then went back to our Airbnb. And the next morning when we woke up, we had literally 2 things on our agenda, and that was to eat and drink and be by the water. And like I said, 3 things, but yeah, eat, drink, and be by the water. So we went to Hula Hula, which if you've been to Hvar, you've been to Hula Hula. It's this beach club that's very well known there, and it's right on the water. And we're laying.
Bitch, no, ain't nobody been out there. Who you think you talking to? Talking about some, if you ever been to Croatia, you ever been to this specific club? No, bitch, ain't nobody. All right.
Day beds kind of off to the side, minding our own business, sipping mojitos. And I look up and I see this very attractive man. And the first thing that came to my mind was, this man looks like he is walking straight out of a Calvin Klein ad. And I'm telling you guys, 6'3", blonde hair, blue eyes, chiseled skin, so tan, muscles everywhere. I was definitely taken aback, and I think it takes a lot for me to really double take a man just based on his looks like that. And 100%, I was a little bit just in awe.
This white man was fine. She was in trouble. Hey, yo. She was like, this white man was fine. She's in trouble, G.
And so I'm still minding my own business, keeping it chill. And he looks over at me and he says, how are the drinks? And I said, the drinks are wonderful. We're just sipping mojitos. So I get us all around. And I said, absolutely. Number 1, it's cute. Number 2, we wouldn't want a free mojito. So I said yes. We got a round of drinks. And we're sipping our drinks. And we just start small talking. And I asked them where they're from. And they say that they're both from Denmark. My ex was living in Copenhagen, and then his friend was living in a smaller town called Aalborg, which is north of Copenhagen, and that was actually my ex's hometown, that his friend was still living there. And so we were just small talking the whole time. We didn't really talk about a whole lot of things. It was just like, where are you from? And just basic things. But they were asking us, what's your plan for the rest of the trip? And we told them, we're doing a full day boat excursion tomorrow, and then we're going to dinner tonight at this place called Dalmatino. And he said, oh, how's the dinner spot? And I was like, I don't know, but I got recommended by a friend to go there. And he was like, okay, well, maybe we'll meet up with you guys again later. And I said, sure. So we're getting a little bit tired, so we decided that it's time for us to leave. And so,
all right, look, y'all, I'm not going to do part 1. Part 1 sucks, okay? Part 1, Ryan Davis once said, the only thing women love more than telling a story is telling a backstory. The backstory sucks. Long story short, the reason it took me forever to even watch this shit in the first place was because part 1 sucks so bad. Like, you ever listen to a chick tell a story and you're like, bitch, get to the point. Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So, super long story short, she went on vacation with her friend. 2 dudes came up to him, bought him some drinks. She liked the guy a lot. They hung out again. She liked him a lot. They hung out again. She liked him a lot. That was it. Everything for part one was her basically flexing the things that she does. She goes to you see how she's very big on like telling us like, oh, Croatia, this miscellaneous brand name place I was at, yada yada. You know what I'm saying? Like she's big on letting bitches know where she be at. You know what I'm saying? She you can tell she listens to Drake a lot. Cause Drake is always naming miscellaneous places that no one's ever heard of, and you'd be like, you have to look it up and shit. That's how she likes to flex on bitches when she talk. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna fast forward through part one. I got part one and part two on here. Well, we'll go to the end of part two, part one a little bit, but I wasn't finna put y'all through what I went through listening to part one. That's why I was turned off. But apparently, parts 2 through 25, it gets really messy. And I told watching this is like watching Get Out. You remember when you were watching Get Out the first time? You was like, bro, what are you doing? Like the whole time, like the whole movie, you were like, bro, get out, bro. Apparently, watching this is like watching Get Out after you get past the first terrible backstory. Like 10 minutes to just yap. Like, come on, girl.
But wanted to reward myself for working hard, and he had messaged me and been like, hey, did you get your Chanel bag? And I was literally like drunk off sangrias in my bikini and cover up in the Chanel store when I got that DM, and I sent him a selfie, and he said, this is the best photo I've ever seen. And I just like felt like I could just be myself with him already, and we were just getting along and having good conversation. So again, he doesn't even have my phone number at this point. We were literally just flirting through DMs. So I ended up leaving Barcelona the next day.
You see what the hell I'm saying? We're at 10 minutes, and that's where we're at. We're exchanging DMs. Ain't you glad I skipped all that for you? You're welcome. That's why y'all love my channel.
And I land, and he sends me a message, and he said, what are you doing this weekend? Do you want to go to Ibiza? And I saw the message, and I was like, what? And we will continue in part two.
You see, part one sucked.
The Danish is in part two. Okay. So he sent me a message saying, you should come to Ibiza this weekend. I'm going with a bunch of friends. And he's like, I'll send you the flight. Everything will be paid for. And I thought about it for a second because, come on, who wouldn't want to go to Ibiza? And then I thought a couple of reasons why I didn't want to go was mainly because I just bought a Chanel bag. So I was like, I want to work and make more money. And also,
I told y'all she like flexing on bitches. Didn't I tell y'all that?
Like, this is the type of guy that things come easy for him, and this is not something that's gonna be easy for you to obtain, and I didn't want our first weekend to be, like, just partying together with all of his friends. Like, that's not what I wanted. So I ended up telling him no, but I just ended up saying that I needed to work, and I thought he was never gonna talk to me again.
Ladies, I'm gonna tell you something very real. But I know this is... Ladies, if you're dealing with a man and you feel like things come easy for him, if you choose to make it difficult on purpose, he's either going to A, go get him a new woman, because women aren't hard for him, or B, he's gonna plot on you just to screw you over because you thought you were bigger than the program. So what I suggest is when you date, don't play games. If you like a dude, just act like it. That's it.
Somehow this like lit a fire under him, and he became even more persistent, and he started pursuing me even more. And he was sending me messages like, when are you gonna come visit me in Copenhagen? Or I would love to come to Dallas to come see you. And I was just like, who is this man and what's happening? Still not really taking him serious. And then maybe like a couple weeks later, he sends me another message. And at this point, we're still talking pretty consistently on Instagram. We still do not have each other's numbers. And he sends me a message. He said, hey, I have a work conference coming up in Monaco, and I would love for you to come. And I read that message, and I was like near the south of France, like that Monaco? And he was like, yeah, like I can get you your flight and everything will be taken care of. And I was like, okay, well, give me some time to think about it, because I didn't want to say yes on the spot, but I was like, okay, this is something I definitely want to consider. So I thought about it for a while. I talked to my friends about it. I talked to my sisters about it. At first, I was like, I don't think I'm going to do it. Like, this is crazy. And then over time, I started like talking myself into it. And then one morning I woke up and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go to Monaco. So I sent him a message and I said, hey, I've decided I'm going to come to Monaco. And he sends me a message. He said, this is the best day ever. I'm so happy.
She's a terrible storyteller, but I see why women like this, because she talks name brand and countries and traveling. Like, she, she speak bitches language.
Like, send me your passport and everything. I'll book the flight. So I sent him a picture of my passport. And
by the way, the super chat is open. Okay. All right.
I also was like, oh, and by the way, here's my phone number. He was like, I've been waiting for you to give this to me for now like weeks. And I said, okay, here you go. Thank you for like inviting me on this trip. So I give him my phone number and he sends me a message and he said, it took you long enough. And I said, oh yeah, well, sorry, I'm just a little bit more reserved when it comes to like dating and men. Like, I just like to make sure like I'm a very intentional person. And he was just so respectful to me. I remember when he was booking the flights and everything, he was like, don't worry, like, I'll get you your own hotel room. Like, he was just being so respectful. And so I remember our very first phone call so perfectly, because it came completely out of the blue. It was like on like a Tuesday, and I'm sitting at my work desk and he sends me a message. He's like, can I call you? And I was like, oh, he wants to call me? And I'm like, I'm literally discombobulated, freaking out.
Am I tripping, or does she sound like she's willing to do this shit all over again? Like, she's really giddy telling this story.
What am I going to do when this man actually calls me? But I was like, you need to get together. So he calls me, I answer the phone, and he's actually in a cab to the airport. He's about to go on a work trip, and we were just small talking about our day, and I felt like those like butterflies that I felt whenever we had been together at dinner.
She would 100% do this shit again.
Croatia. And I remember getting off the phone with him and I was just sitting there like cheesing, like, which I don't ever do. And I was just, this guy is special. And he sent me a message and he was like, you are so cute. Like, I love talking to you. And I said, I love talking to you too. And so basically from that moment on, we just started talking on the phone all the time, like for 1 hour, 2 hours a day. We started talking about a lot of things, about a lot of different aspects of our lives. He was telling me that, you know, he was living in Copenhagen. He was living in this condo. Obviously, he knew that I lived in Dallas. And then we started talking about past relationships. And I told him, I was very honest. I said, I actually haven't had like a truly serious relationship before. I have always been a very independent person, but
I'm going to let you guys know, she eventually, in part, like, whatever, tells us that she gets married to this dude. This bitch ain't never been in a relationship before. And she gets married to the... Now, I know I went from 0 to 100. I don't know all the details either. I just know what I know. I know they eventually got married, and that's what made me start doing this.
I do want to meet someone. I do want to like get married and have kids, but I don't feel like that pressure to like force it. Like, I have such a great example with my parents, and I really want to have like an amazing love in this lifetime. And so I'm going to take my time to find that. And I asked him, like, what's your history with your dating? And he was like, yeah, well, I actually was in a relationship with a girl. We were together for about 4 years. And I actually broke up with her about 4 months before I met you. And I said, oh my gosh, like, the 4 years is a long time. He said, yeah, like, it needed to happen for a while. And really what happened was that she told him that she was ready to have kids and he wasn't ready to have kids. And I guess that forced him to realize that she wasn't the one. And they were living together. So it was like a really hard situation to get out of. But he finally was able to do so. And so I was happy to hear that it had been about 4 months since they broke up, because if he had said that they had just broken up, I would have been a little bit more hesitant to pursue things, because I know, like, you go through a breakup, you need time to heal, but I felt like, okay, 4 months should be enough time. And then we started talking about, like, our families a little bit too. I told him I'm super close with my family. He said I'm really close with my mom and my little sister. I do have an older sister that I don't talk to, and basically something happened, and she was like being like physically abusive, verbally, physically abusive towards his mom, and he decided to cut her out of his life because she's crazy. And I said,
He's setting her up real good. Like, I'm the virtuous one. My sister was bad towards my mom, and what? This is a good story. I like this.
I get that.
It's a good scam. Let me tell y'all, as a dude from the city, I know I'm country. I grew up in North Carolina, but I'm from the city. At the end of the day, when I was in Panama, I seen a man get pickpocketed so smooth. When I tell you it was so smooth, like, I was looking at a woman that was directly behind him, but over to the right a little bit. So I saw everything, like, in my direct line of sight. That's why I was looking at him. You feel me? This dude walked up to him, bumped him on his shoulder, and the guy knew immediately what was up. Immediately, he started fiddling around in his pockets and shit. It was too late. His phone was gone. And then I looked around. There was nobody running away or nothing. Like, he couldn't even see who it was. I didn't see who it was. I was just like, and then he went up to the police, and the police didn't help him. Panama.
Should not have her in your life. And I think just like over the course of a month, we're talking on the phone for just hours. And I tell people all the time that it felt like we fell in love over the phone, because from the time that I had decided to go to Monaco to the time that I actually left for Monaco, it was a month. And we had this fell in love over the phone, because I think just like over the course of a month, we're talking on the phone for just hours. And I tell people all the time that it felt like we fell in love over the phone, because
That's what I thought she said. Baby, you know that I miss you. I know that I kiss you. I know that I'm that girl, but that's the issue. I know that I miss you. I don't wanna kiss you. I just wanna get to baby, kiss me through the phone. Kiss me through the phone. See you later on. My boy Chad was over there. Kiss me through the phone. Kiss me through the phone. See you when I get home.
From the time that I had decided to go to Monaco to the time that I actually left for Monaco, it was a month. And we had this plan that we weren't going to FaceTime at all, because we wanted the next time we saw each other to be in person, which I thought at the time was super romantic. And so, we started talking about like hypotheticals. I remember he told me one day, he said, if we ever end up getting married, you're going to meet the queen. And I remember just like laughing at that comment. And he said, no, I'm being serious. And I said, what do you mean I'll meet the queen? And he said, well, my family has a royal title. And I was like, wait, what? And
Wait,
he
what?
sent me this link to this site. It's called the Order of the Elephants. And he's like,
my family has a royal title, and then sent you a link. Bitch. 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 You know what's really funny? Is that I heard her people are Nigerian, and she fixing to get hit with a Nigerian scam.
and you could do some research and then we can talk about it. And I said, okay. So I start going.
Like, nobody, I can imagine, right? Now, I've seen a lot of movies, right? And I know movies ain't real life all the time, but sometimes they are. It's like if you learn from TV that when you get arrested, you don't have to say shit, you can ask for a lawyer. That's actually real. I would imagine that if I was actual royalty, and good looking and handsome, you would think that you would be weary of women finding out that your family is royalty because they would just want you for your money and your family and your status. You wouldn't lead with that as a way to get somebody, right? Right? Especially unprovoked. Because in part one, the only thing that was relevant was that she works in IT or something. He works in IT or something. They both have money because they both have similar, very good careers. So she had no reason to wonder where his money came from or why he was traveling or anything like that. She had no reason to wonder any of this. But my boy was just like, I'm royalty. Here's a website. You could check us out, bitch. Yeah, what'd you say? You didn't have second thoughts.
Through the page that he sent me, and I see someone that had the same last name as him, like some old guy from like the 1700s. And I remember taking a screenshot and I said, "Is this your great great grandpa?" And he goes, "Now you're getting on track. My next question to you is, how's your etiquette?" And I was like, I mean, I think it's okay. And so I'm sitting here like, who is this man? He's attractive. He has a great job. He has a royal title. Like,
boy, you got your stupid ass.
Is there anything wrong with him at this point? And I have always believed that it's too good to be true. But I mean, and I was feeling that 100%. Like, I felt like, when's the other shoe gonna drop? But it didn't drop that first month. It was just like we truly fell in love over the phone. And so we are getting closer and closer.
We on the phone like da 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 da. She call boy like da 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 da.
Trip to Monaco, and I start packing, and I feel like that's like.
This is a long story, my boy. Let me tell you something. These women don't watch 25 parts of this. They're all like 10 minutes apiece. We finna be here for a month. You hear me? Because I'm not finna watch all this at the same. We finna be here for a while, my boy.
The nerves that are hitting me was when I'm packing, like, oh my goodness, this is actually happening. And I remember my sister was like, you need to put air tags and like get all your bags. And I'm like, I don't need to put air tags in anything. Like, I trust this man. Like, I know like it's gonna be okay. Like, every part of me felt like so safe with him already, which was crazy because I hadn't really spent much time with him. Maybe this is trauma for
every part of me. This bitch said every part of me felt so safe with him already. Why? Why? You see, that talk game will do it. If y'all wonder how dudes in jail be getting women to fall in love with them, baby, you know that I miss you. I just wanna kiss you. No, I can't get with you right now, and that's the issue. You know that I miss you. I just wanna kiss you. I'm gonna say this other baby, kiss me through the phone. Kiss me through the phone. See you later on. Just kiss me through the phone. Boy.
being on The Bachelor.
But also, them women who be falling in love with them jail dudes, they actually seek out men in prison. So that's a whole different type of mental illness. I can't even compare. Y'all are still way more mentally ill than this lady.
Not sure, but I felt very safe with him, and so the day comes where I'm supposed to go on the trip, and so I order my Uber, get to the airport, and I felt like it was kind of like a good sign because I posted that I was at DFW, and one of my really good girlfriends texted me that lives in a different state. She was like, "Hey, I'm actually in DFW too," and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So she comes, meets me at my terminal. She's like,
"Oh my gosh!"
I'm actually going to Monaco to meet this guy that I met in Croatia, and she was like, "This is insane." And so I just felt like
her friend was a white woman. Had to have been, because like she don't hang around. If she was I could tell she has really good skin and everything. She takes care of herself, right? So if she were to be hanging around a bunch of sisters, it'd be a bunch of like intelligent sisters, career driven and stuff. It wouldn't be the kind of scallywags that's in my neighborhood. You feel me? So if she had a bunch of sister friends, they'd be like, bitch.
That friend was like a good sign. I don't know why. And I ended up just boarding the flight. I remember boarding that first flight. I had a layover in Madrid, but boarding that first flight, I was sitting there and I was like, this shit is really happening. And all the nerves are just taking over, but I'm like, take a chill pill. It's gonna be okay. You're gonna get there. It's gonna be fine. And at that point, I was like, okay, the worst thing that happens is like, he's a crazy person and I have enough money where I can like just book my own hotel and I'll just have a good time by myself. Like it'll be fine. So I like had that backup plan.
You're going overseas alone. The worst thing that could happen is you could be unalived and cut and your organs are taken out on and sold on the black market. That's the worst thing that could happen, ma'am. You see, I don't know what type of black people raised you, but if you think that's the worst that can happen to a black woman going overseas by herself, ma'am, you live in fairy tale land and it must be nice.
But yeah, I had my layover in Madrid and then my next flight was to Nice. And so I board my flight to Nice. It was like a really quick flight. And I get to Nice, I land.
Layover in Madrid, I don't trust nothing Spanish. And when I say Spanish, I mean Spain. Let me tell you about Spanish people from Spain. Spanish people from Spain, España, they think they're so much better than other Latinos. But let me tell you about the history of the people that hail from Spain. You know, other Europeans, when they came to the New World, America, they did a genocide on the Native Americans, local population. We all know about this. But the Spanish from Spain, not only did they engage in genocide, they seen all these Native American women running around with no clothes on, and they was freaky. So they forcibly did things so much over such a long period of time, generationally, they created a people called Latino. So every time I meet an uppity Spaniard, because they all uppity, especially when they compare themselves to other Latinos. You hear me? They definitely think they're better than other Latinos, for sure. But the history of your people are generational, graping savages. So watch your mouth if you're from Spain. You should just be nice to people like everybody else. And all you people want to do is sit around and siesta and eat tapas all day. I know about y'all, but I know about your people more importantly. So you got a layover in Spain and you think the worst thing that can happen to you is having to get your own hotel? This girl live in a fairy tale land.
I get my bags and baggage claim. I send him a text. I said, I'm here. And I'm rolling both of my bags, about to walk out, freaking out, and let's continue on in part 3.
You see, she's a terrible storyteller. Terrible story. How did this even get viral is my question. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna get this going to part 3 because there's millions of views on every one of them. It took over TikTok. Like literally parts 1 and 2. We ain't even got to the point. Y'all let this heifer finesse y'all with 20 minutes of yap. You know how much money she done made on TikTok off of y'all? And she ain't even got to the damn point yet. No types of point. There's no tea that's been happening so far. This is viral. This got TikTok in a chokehold right now. Este puta. Let me get to part three, and I'm gonna get it up here for y'all, man. You know, until then, we're gonna do what we usually do and go through the comment section and shit. You know, man, I cannot believe this heifer viral for this. There's just no way. Absolutely no way. Love me, love me, love me, love me. Somebody said roll up. I done been rolled up. What you mean? Oh, by the way, y'all. Crop top is streaming everywhere. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Streaming everywhere.
I've got a backup plan.
Streaming everywhere. You heard me. And if you all are wondering what the inspiration was for crop top, I know some of you are just a little confused. You know, you appreciate the comedy of what's going on, but you're a little confused as to why I'm coming for the crop top community. I'm not really coming for the entire crop top community, but I guess I should be because someone should. Because why are these men outside with their belly buttons out? You know, it makes no sense. Someone said, so you're saying that back in the '80s that was ubiquitous too? Because they used to do it back then, and my answer was a resounding yes. They were doing super ubiquitous stuff in the '80s. If you excuse the stuff that was going on by a lot of the people in the '80s, it says a lot about you because they was ubiquitous. You heard me? Um. So if y'all want to go back to the '80s, just know what you're going back to. First of all, and second of all, I wasn't just coming for the crop top community. It was about a certain a man hater's boyfriend. Cause you know, if you were in a relationship with a man hater, there's no way you're manly. More importantly, I just feel like he's a bitch. Real shit. Cause you know, I was at his wife's neck or his fiance's neck, cause you know he ain't married her yet. She got 8-year relationship. Um and you ain't had nothing to say because you's a bitch. More importantly, your woman be out here just spouting all this nonsense about men in a relationship with a whole man. So if your woman is a man hater, you know simple math says there's no way you're manly despite your muscles, despite the fact that you used to be a college athlete. Like, can you imagine if the guys on your old football team or lacrosse team or whatever you used to play on, imagine if they could see you now. You went from college athlete to arm candy, bro. College athlete to arm candy, and now you're talking with your belly button out of crop top. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. College athletes are arm candy. A real, a real underdog story. Yeah, he in his soft guy era, man's is just put up. You know, his girl got 8 million followers. She worth like $2 million. She's a New York Times bestseller, talking about how all men are terrible. And you're just like a rapper's wife or baby mama when he always talks about like bitches, and you like it's making money, sing it, baby. That's you with your crop top. You making that money, you better talk about it, baby. That's literally you, bro. You're a rapper's baby mama in a crop top. You even dress like one because you got a crop top on. And I don't know if you always wear crop tops, but the fact that you put one on is enough for me to call you crop top forever. Cause you talking with your belly button out of crop top on her page. I can hear I can hear I can hear your belly button talking to us. My name is Drew's bitch. It's nice to meet y'all. I'm just the arm candy. We can hear the crop top talking. I didn't realize belly buttons had voices. You put me on something new, bro. Well, I didn't realize belly buttons could talk. But when I went on her page, um, I could like it's funny, like you can hear somebody's voice talking through Instagram. That's wild. This belly button talking. I think that's wild. And guys, you don't have to be a part of the crop top community for the rest of your life. You can stop that shit like right now. I got part 3 uploading, and I'm sorry that parts 1 and 2 were so trash. I didn't realize part 2 was gonna be as trash as part 1. Honestly, I wanted to react to it in real time because y'all like my reactions. Because what's really funny is that I never thought that I would be funny just reacting, but apparently I'm hilarious even when I'm irritated and pissed off. So it is what it is. So I just want to give my humblest African American apologies for how terrible of a storyteller she was with no damn details. Come on, like I told y'all. But that's why women watched all that shit, because she was flexing on them with the fact that she was going overseas, and the fact that a man paid for the trip, and the fact that she bought a Chanel bag and stuff. That's why, like, y'all. How did this even make it to a part 3 and 4 and 5 and 6? Like if that was a dude telling that story, parts 1 and 2, it never would have made it past anything in part 1. She's a terrible storyteller. Jesus. I think women love men. Yeah. Just like men love women. I'm glad you said that. Y'all do realize that we are in a gender war, right? And I want to tell you something that's very real. Just like any war, the only people who actually win are the people who are supplying the weaponry, because you pay for it. Do you hear me? And the people who supply the weaponry, do you think they want the war to end? Now imagine if the people who supplied the weaponry were also the people who are influencing the war. Do you think any of your feminist content creators or any of your red pill content creators want you to be in a happy, healthy, loving marriage? Do you think they even want you happy? No, they don't. You do realize that these red pill content creators and these feminist content creators, they're not funny. That's the only reason you come here in the first place, right? I'm hilarious, bitch. They're not funny at all. All they do is play on your insecurities. That's all they do. They're supplying the arms for the gender war. And y'all can keep watching them if you want to. I'm just letting you know what's real. Like I say, unlike a red pillar or a feminist, I don't care if you ever take my advice. But I think you should if you want to be happy. I'm just saying. They don't want you happy. I want you happy.
The Danish Deception part.
Yeah, we finna get up. We finna get part 3 uploaded. I got y'all. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. But I do know why um they make that type of content. Even if they're not even like upset in real life, even if like they're not jaded in real life, y'all love that stuff. And you give them money to make it. Like they cater to their audiences. They pander a lot because there's good money in pandering. Like y'all love it. You love to have your negative opinions about somebody else reinforced. Y'all love it. I see what y'all watch online. When I was looking up the whatever podcast, I couldn't believe what I saw. 6 hour streams, a million views. Y'all love it. Hey, I would keep making that content too. Especially if I was butthurt and I believed it. Because if you're actually jaded and scarred and you let your scars bleed all over the internet, there's good money in that. There's a lot of money in being a hurt person projecting onto the source of your hurt. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Um, I got mommy issues, but they're not really mommy issues. It's just that, my mom is my mom. I love her dearly, but she's my mom. But if I was, if I had a bunch of unhealed trauma and I was always on the internet giving y'all details about my mom and talking shit about how moms are terrible and blah, 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 y'all would love me a lot more. But I'm going to tell you what somebody told me a long time ago. They said, your issues may not be your fault, but they are 100% your problem. Changed my whole life. Hopefully, that just changed somebody's. I'll say it again. Your issues may not be your fault, but they are 100% your problem. You see, they're not going to tell you that on a red pill or a feminist channel. On a red pill channel, if girls have done you wrong, they're going to tell you about the girls and blah, blah, blah. And if you walk around being a dog and blah, 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 they're going to be like, well, they shouldn't have did him wrong. You used to be a good guy and now you acting out. It's their fault. If you're a feminist and you hate men, the men that you've experienced have power over you because you can't even see good men now because of them. They occupy so much real estate in your head, even though you act like they don't. But they do. You know, I should really be a therapist, honestly, because um, even my fake teeth, y'all, it would be very easy to hate the man who knocked my teeth out with a gun. I'm very sorry, but I'm getting over being sick. Very sorry. That was gross. But the reality of the situation is the man raised me ever since I was one. He was the only dad I knew until I was about 21 years old. And I walk and talk a lot like him because he raised me. Hell, I talk a lot like him. He's the reason why y'all think I'm so funny, to be honest with you. Now, I can't rock with dude ever, obviously. But if I were to just walk around hating, I wouldn't be able to embrace what I am. And I'm definitely dude's son, but I'm so blessed that I'm not. You heard me? Um, More importantly, all of his sons who grew up hating him so much, they grew up to be him, making a bunch of children with a bunch of baby mamas, and the women are providing most of the financial care for the children, whether it's via like government assistance or they're working, and the kids live with them most of the time, and you know what I'm saying, like they giving hate to something because it did you wrong, you become so much like it you don't even realize it. So we probably got about 5 more minutes on this upload, by the way. Just because you cut people off because it's the best thing for you, if you got love for them, you can't, lie to yourself. Um, and you can't let things turn to hate because it's just gonna age you. You know, I still got love for my goofy ass little sister. Love her to death. I ain't got no words for her. Just bars. That bitch looking old. That bitch looking old. She been working that pole. That bitch looking old. That bitch looking old. She been working that pole. That bitch looking old. She been working that pole. That bitch looking old. She been working that pole. That bitch looking old. She been working that. Do your daughter even know her father, bitch? I don't know why she came on the internet playing with me. She was brave for that. I will give her that, y'all. That's one thing I am proud of my little sister for. She was brave. You brave as hell. Cause who the fuck is you talking to? We got to give her that, y'all. So round of applause for my sister and for being so brave. Like, because she's always been the biggest bully I've ever known to everybody. And I think she just always had a chip on her shoulder about me because for some reason I just won't allow my little sister to bully me the way she does little girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never understood why my little sister wouldn't just like bow down to the fact that I'm your big brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know any I don't know any woman with a caring big brother who grew up with the guy who tries to like come at him reckless on a regular basis, or because like your big brother will always little girl you because he knows you. Like, I don't care how much of a boss chick you think you are, your big brother will always little girl you. Like, what are you doing? So I don't. Yeah, she was really brave for that with her stupid ass, but she's always been like that when it came to me. Just I don't understand. Actually, I do. I do. Our parents, well, her dad and my mom, but our parents, respectfully, all she did was feed on the energy that was present in the house. I was never respected as an older brother, as really a kid. I was always told no. She was always told yes. I was treated like I was outside the house, even though I was in the house. So, you can't really blame her too much. That's why I just was able to just laugh and drop a song, you know? But still, though, she was brave because, girl, who was you playing with? Like, she want to. And I know there have been a bunch of diss songs over the years, But I don't think a diss song has ever started with, "Do your daughter even know her father, bitch? Do your daughter even know her father, bitch?"
This whole thing.
Yeah, that was that was tough. That was tough. I ain't gonna lie. Nah, but what's even tougher was like, it was definitely warranted. Like how your brother come out trying to start his career out and stuff, and you doing your absolute best to lie to make sure nobody wants to work with him and stuff. Like she's always been a terrible person, and she got exactly what she deserved. You know, one of the reasons why the good Lord above gave me these talents was to vanquish the wicked. And unfortunately, my sister is her father's clone, and it's some wicked people. And when you wicked and you play with me, you know, your daughter got to be crying at night because she done came across a video of her uncle being like, "Do your daughter even know her father, bitch?" Find something safe to do. Should have found something safe to do. Not only that, like y'all remember, she reached out to that bitch. She reached out to that dude to do that. He didn't even reach out to her, and she got bit by the clout bug and was like, "Ooh, let me just try to." She literally reached out to him after seeing our online altercation and was like, "I got some dirt for you if you want it." Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do your daughter even know her father, bitch? Do your daughter even know her father, bitch? Part 3 of the Danish deception, because part 1 and part 2 sucked.
The Danish deception, part 3. Okay, so I'm walking out a baggage claim. I have my bags. And at this point, worst case scenarios are playing in my head. I'm like, what if this whole thing is just gonna be so awkward and we're not gonna have that connection like I think we have? But I also told myself, you're gonna have to figure it out and let's just do this. So I walk out of baggage claim and I'm scanning the scene and I see him. And everything in me feels peace and joy. And I just make a beeline to him.
Bruh, she would 100% do this again. I bet she listened to Summer Walker music a lot. A lot. Like, do you see how happy she is telling this story? It is.
Like, it's one of those, like, I'm walking, but, like, low-key I'm running. And I finally get to him. He hugs me, but, like, he picks me off the ground, and he's hugging me, and I'm hugging him back. And then he puts me down. He looks at me. He goes, "Hi, Bambi." And that was a nickname he used to call me. And I was like, "Hi." And we just proceed to make out in the Nice airport for 2 straight minutes. And I am not the type of person to
Bro.
do that, but I just felt so much attraction towards him and I just did not care. And I remember that we were in the taxi going to the hotel and we had to put ourselves at like an arm's length because we were just like going at it, like kissing. And I was like, this taxi driver is going to start feeling super uncomfortable. So we're like, we need to stop. And so we get to the hotel, we check in, we get to the hotel room. And let's just say we had a wonderful time. Multiple times. Mom and Dad, I am so sorry for that part. We end up going to...
That's the part you think your parents are embarrassed about? Sister girl, the women say that you're a Nigerian. You don't think your parents are embarrassed about the fact that you got, she ends up getting finessed for thousands of dollars, y'all. And she got married. And you think the sex is what they're embarrassed about, child. They're embarrassed about the fact that you're telling this story with a smile, honey. Your father is like, Your father is sitting at home like this, watching this. Like this. This is your daughter. No, no, no. This is not my child. This is your daughter.
Afterwards, and I just remember sitting here and I was like, I feel like this is my dream come true being here with you. And he said, I feel like this is my dream come true. Like, I'm so grateful to be here. Like, you're like my dream girl, and you were even better than I remembered if that was even possible. And it just felt like everything was aligning perfectly. And so the next day we had a car rental, so we went to Monaco, and that's where his work event was. And I remember he told me, he's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring you to all of the events. And I told him, you know what, I'm going to be in Monaco, so if you can't take me to things, that's fine, I'll just go explore the city. And I remember we get there and he had like a kickoff event, like first things first when we arrived, and so I wasn't invited. I also didn't really want to go, so he went to that, and I was just like exploring Monaco. And he sent me a message. He said, hey, you're going to be able to come to the event tonight. Do you have something to wear? And I remember being like, I didn't bring anything like for like a professional cocktail party. And he was like, oh, well, we're in Monaco, so you wear whatever. And I said, okay. So I remember I put on this green romper.
This is why women like this story, even though she's the worst storyteller in the history of bitches. You feel me? She just keeps saying buzzwords like Monaco. So bitches are like, she's in Monaco. It's just so nice, and her skin is so nice, and whew.
And we went to this hotel, and
you see why we be judging y'all ladies? Because this is the shit that y'all make viral. And also, this is why I judge you men also. Y'all done made this heifer more famous than the bros that made me. The women done supported this heifer financially more in the past 2 weeks than the bros have supported me, even though I gave y'all a generational banger, allegedly. Your words, not mine. This is why women win and men lose. Because women unapologetically support, and the bros be like,
and I remember being super nervous because I'm used to like networking, but not with like Norwegians and like a bunch of people that aren't like fluent in English, which actually people in Norway, they all are fluent in English. I was very impressed. But I just started talking to different agents because these were all real estate agents, and I'm a realtor, so I felt like I could connect with them so well. And I remember I was talking to this man, me and my ex were talking to this man, and he was like so interested by me, and he said, are you coming to the boat party tomorrow? And I knew there was a boat party coming up the next day, but I also just like assumed I wouldn't be able to go. And I said, well, I looked at my ex, I go, I don't know, like, am I? And my ex looks at me and goes, well, you're talking to the CEO, so I think that's fine. I said, oh. The CEO was like, yeah, I'd love for you to come. And he was just so nice. And I met so many great people, and also just watching him in his element working, and he's just so charming and charismatic, and everyone, when people talk to him, they're just so fascinated by him, like I was. And so we had a great night, and then the next day was a boat party, and I remember I was just hanging out on the boat, again, just watching him go talk to all these big customers, and I didn't understand a word he was saying, but I just felt like he just looked like he was super smart. And later on that night, I remember they had another event, and I wasn't invited to that event, which is fine, but I came and met up with him afterwards, and we got drinks. And the next day, we decided to head to Saint-Tropez. And I remember we get to the hotel in Saint-Tropez.
not Saint-Tropez. Oh my God. Bitch. No wonder you bitches like this shit. Like, aren't you ashamed of yourselves? Aren't you ashamed of yourselves that this shit got the 25 parts? Aren't you ashamed? You see, I'm at work right now. You heifers did this shit in your free time. I just want to let that shit sink in real quick. I want to let it resonate. Let it marinate. Do better, bitch. Do better, bitch. Want better. And I'm talking to you. You know you watched all 25 parts. It was 10 parts, 200, and it was 10 minutes each. 250 minutes of your life. You watched this. You know you did. And she posted these bitches like 3, 4, 5 a day. You watched it all. You know you did, didn't you? This is me looking down on you. I love you. That's why I'm telling you the truth. Your man don't love you enough to tell you this truth. But I'm not trying to sleep with you, so this is real love. You understand what I'm saying? I love you. Do better, bitch. I wanted to know what happened.
This hotel is so nice. I've stayed in 5-star hotels before, but like I've never stayed in like 5-star hotels that are like a full suite with like private pool. And I like looked up the room and it was like 1,500 to like 2,000 euros a night. And I'm like absolutely not used to this. And I remember telling him that because I'm not the type of person to like walk into something like this and be like, oh yeah, like I'm used to this stuff. I'm not gonna be fake. So I told him like I am not used to staying in hotels like this or like especially specifically suites like this. And he was like, well, you know, while we're together, I want you to know, like, I want to give you the world. And I was like, I like, thank you so much. Like, I feel so grateful. And I remember telling him that in that moment.
So now we done went from kiss me through the phone, kiss me through the phone, see you when I get home, to I'ma give you the world, baby girl. You don't gotta be worth it. No, no, no.
And later on that night, we go to l'Opera and we're having a wonderful time, drinking great wine, having good food. And if you've been to l'Opera in Saint-Tropez, it's very much...
Bitch, you know we ain't been to l'Opera in Saint-Tropez. Bitch, you know we ain't been to l'Opera in Saint-Tropez. You see, I told y'all, she like flexing on you hoes. If you been to l'Opera in Saint-Tropez, bitch. I told y'all she like flexing on y'all.
Party restaurant. Like, you have dancers on the tables. It's like, it's a party scene. But like, yeah, you know, that's also like kind of like vibe when I'm like, you know, have a couple of drinks in me. And we're sitting at dinner and he's talking to me about his...
She looked like she looked like when she get drunk, she dances with her hands like white women. She'd be like, that's definitely her. That's her for real. She looked like her favorite song is Party Rockers in the House Tonight. Everybody just have a good time. You're just gonna lose your mind. And she'd be like, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's her. For real.
Mom, and talking about how he's so protective over her and how much he loves her and how he like would do anything for her. And I remember just like,
hold on, got off topic a little bit.
and he's talking to me about his mom and talking about how he's so protective over her and how much he loves her and how he like would do anything for her. And I remember just like looking at him and just being like, this is like everything I want in a man.
Yeah, you know, he finessing you good. Now he's got you by saying he bringing up the mom for no reason. He's setting you up good to ask for $6,000.
If a man is going to treat his family with respect, the chances of him treating your family with respect are so much higher. And I just felt like I saw his heart, and it just made me just fall for him even more than I had already. And I guess my thoughts had translated to my face because he picked up on some expression and he was like, "What is it?" I was like, "Nothing." He said, "Tell me." I go, "Nothing." And then he grabs my face and he pulls it close to him. He goes, "Tell me." And I say, "I'm in love with you." And then I started bawling my eyes out at La Opera in San Tropez.
At La Opera in Saint Tropez. I was bawling my eyes out at La Opera in Saint Tropez. Like, can you believe I told the man I loved him at La Opera in Saint Tropez? Like, I never would have imagined that at La Opera in Saint Tropez that I would be telling someone that I loved him. Like, especially when I'm at La Opera. Because if you ever been to La Opera at Saint Tropez, then you would know that never happens at La Opera in Saint Tropez.
And this was a sweet moment, but it was also very uncomfortable and embarrassing because all the workers are all thinking that I'm getting.
Bitch, everything about this is uncomfortable and embarrassing. There's no way she's actually Nigerian. There's no way.
Dumped right now when I'm really just falling in love for the first time and like don't know how to control my emotions. And I remember just like bawling my eyes out, me like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what this feeling is. Like, I don't know what's happening. Like, and he's just sitting there smiling. And
what's that Drewski meme? We got him. We got him. Yeah.
he was like, this is like one of the best nights of my life. And he looked at me and goes, I want to say it back to you, but I also want to have my own special moment, so I'm not going to do it right now. And I said, thank you, God, because I would not want you to tell me right now. And honestly, never in a million years did I think that I would say I love you first to him, but
Wait a minute. You just said I love you, but you didn't want him to say it back? All right.
he pulled it out of me and I felt it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to say it. And I did. And it felt so good. And I remember we went back to.
Do you see her face telling this story? She's telling this story like she didn't get finessed for thousands of dollars in a marriage. Look at her face. She's glowing still. Like if he called her tomorrow and was like, baby, I'm so sorry, but I want you to know everything about me was fake, but the feelings were real, she would take him back. I know she would. Look at her face.
Hotel that night, got some sleep, and the next morning we went to Bagatelle and we had just like a beach day. And I used to tell everyone that this was the best day of my life because we spent the whole day just swimming and laughing and eating and having such a great time. And I just thought to myself, like, I could do this forever. And like, I also thought to myself, like, I don't care if we're on a couch in Dallas, Texas. Like, I just want to be around him all the time. And so that night we go to dinner and I remember just asking him, what are the things that you think are important as we like enter into this relationship? And he told me, if you give me respect and loyalty, I will give you the world. And I told him I can do that. And then I told him, there's a few things you should know. Number one, your money is great, but it's the cherry on top of a great sundae. You could lose it all tomorrow and I would not go anywhere. Like, the money is just like this little added benefit, but I love you for you. I'm here for who you are as a person, not the money. Also, cheating is a
Because through the phone, we fell in love. How come good men don't ever find dumbass women like this? Hmm? Like, how come good men can't ever just find some dumb broad who just fall in love and that's what he'll just treat her right and he'll protect her because he knows she's goofy. Why can't the good men ever find this?
100% a deal breaker for me. I just feel like I always need to like put that out there. I don't care if we've been married for 15 years with 4 kids. I will leave. I will not put up with cheating. And also, my family is my world. I'm a warrior for my family and friends. And please don't.
Oh, by the way, y'all, for the record, um, I'm still pretty sick. If you notice, I be blowing my nose nonstop. I've been feeling a little bit better, but man, I got a whole factory going on here. I actually need to blow my nose now, but I can wait a little bit.
Put me in a position where I have to choose because, like, I love my family so much, and that would be a situation that would cause me so much pain, and I just would never want to be in that position. He said, I understand completely, and I love that about you. So we set those ground rules, and the next day we go to Cannes. And I remember that first day in Cannes, we're having a great time. We went to the beach for a little bit, and then we decided we're gonna go shopping. And he tells me, you can pick out whatever you want to buy, you can get it. So we're going to like Cartier, we're going to Chanel.
Yo, she's living the dream. We went from kiss me through the phone to what was the next one? I'll give you the world, baby girl. You just gotta be worth it. And now it's you can have whatever you like. Yeah, stacks on deck, Patron on ice. She can have whatever she like in Monaco or wherever the hell she's at, right? Saint Tropez. I don't even know where Saint Tropez is, honestly.
We go to Dior. I see this yellow bag I fall in love with, but I felt so uncomfortable because I don't want this man to think that I'm with him for his money, and I didn't want him to feel like I was using him. So I remember just being like, oh, it's okay. Like, I love this purse, but I was like, it's just okay. And we ended up going to Dolce & Gabbana, and I pick out this nice pair of $200 sunglasses, and he looks at me, he goes, dang, you're cheap. And I said, I just, I'm a simple girl, even though I wanted a Dior bag. But I wanted him to know that I was there for the right reasons. Oh my gosh, bachelor trauma is still kicking in. And so later that night, we decided to go to dinner, and we're eating dinner, and I go to the bathroom, and I had myself a fall going to the bathroom, going up the stairs, and everything went black. And I will continue on the series in part 4.
So she don't think this man put something in her drink? I don't know where she just blacked out. This guy who she's known for a month, who she fell in love with through the phone, and now they're overseas internationally, and she just blacked out. I ain't never crossed her mind. Maybe this strange man done put something in my drink. It never. Oh, we finna keep going. I'm uploading part 4 right now. We finna keep going. Cause it's finally good. After 3.75 parts, the shit then finally got a little interesting. This dumbass. Now, how she so just pretty and dumb, boy? Somebody said she was on The Bachelor. I don't know, man. Anyway, you still not dating black women? I never said I wasn't dating black women. I don't know. I think I think men really have a comprehension problem in America these days. Um, I don't understand a lot of the questions that I get asked. I told you that's why I had to know what happened. But you see, most men literally 2 minutes into part one, they wouldn't have gave a shit. It's a bad movie. Like y'all like watching movies that take forever to unfold, and then it gets to a good plot. You see, Lifetime was a good network because pretty quickly they draw you in. I don't know how y'all got drew into parts one and two. I don't understand. Oh, never mind. I just told you because she kept using buzzwords for your female mind, and you know that's how she got you. Because parts one and two sucked. Part three wasn't a straight F. It got an I at the end, so it was like a D plus C minus. You feel me? But the fact that she got y'all in with parts one and two simply by saying she was out of town and she met a dude in Monaco or wherever she was at, she just kept saying like hot button words that she knew that y'all wanted to hear. Because the story sucks. You know it does. Do better, bitch. Do better. And guys should do better too in general with their content watching because women just watched it because they wanted to. Guys will think about all of the reasons why they shouldn't and all types of miscellaneous. They'll think about how like guys will start pocket watching the people they watch online and talk themselves out of being fans. I've learned a lot about men the past year and a half, and it has not been pleasant. Let me see. We almost ready. About 5 more minutes. Part four will be ready. I'm really disappointed in the bros, man. The fact that the whatever podcast has all those look. I finna show y'all. I'm finna show y'all the numbers. I never really judge a content creator. I judge the audience. 4.5 million subscribers. These lives go on for 6 hours, 8 hours, 3 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours, 4 hours, 7 hours, 5 hours, 7 hours, 3 hours, 9 hours, 3 hours, 8 hours, 7 hours. 360,000 views, 300,000 views, 250,000 views, 200,000 views, 300,000 views, 700 and 400,000 views, 400. Ooh. Just listening to a dude debate girls who you think are dumb. About what? There's no way. Don't talk yourself out of viewers and subscribers, bro. Bro, I don't give a shit. That's the other thing. I'm not some puss ass dude that's online, bro. A lot of these men online are the pandering bitches that they say the men are that pander to women. They pander to bitch ass men. And that's one thing I can't do, fam. I can't do it. I can't pander to a bitch ass man. You a bitch ass man if you watch the whatever podcast on a regular basis. Have this shit in the background while you doing stuff throughout your day. If you're one of those, your boos mean nothing. Cause I see what makes you cheer, literally. I'm a Rick and Morty fan. I'll never care about what a bitch ass person thinks. If you're a Rick and Morty fan, you too real. Like Rick and Morty fans are the realest people walking around. You'll never care with people who, if you don't, Rick taught us that it's okay to not respect the opinions of people who you don't respect. If I don't respect you, I don't respect your opinion about nothing. So yeah, man. If you have to watch a podcast for 5 hours, um, because you want to feel superior to women, like it'd be different. Like that's all you, bro. That's all you. I'm gonna tell you how I always, the day I realized that the amount of bitch ass men that are in real life actually translates to the internet. And it was eye opening, but I was like, I'm not surprised. I posted a video about Andrew Tate. It was 3 different clips of Andrew Tate himself saying he likes 16-year-old virgins. He's my age. He said it on 3 different occasions that I put in the video. I didn't say he said it. I showed the clips of him saying it. I lost 2,000 Instagram followers that day because they couldn't take hearing him say it out his mouth. You hear me? He said it. And I didn't say he said it. I showed you him saying it. And they were like, how dare you? Do you think I cried for those bitches? Do you think I cried for those bitch ass men who chose to unfollow me after that? Because you like the way a man talks so much, you like his voice so much that you will ignore that as a 30-something-year-old man, he's telling y'all he likes 16-year-old virgins. I liked Andrew Tate before I saw that. I haven't listened to a word he said ever since. Because I can literally listen to anybody else talk. As a moral man, I don't get to ignore what I heard come out of his mouth. But y'all don't even hear me. You just want to dance.
We went to Monaco, then we went to Saint Tropez, and we.
She started out flexing on you hoes again. I told y'all she like flexing on you hoes a lot. Just to recap, we went to San Tropez and Monaco.
The Danish Deception Part 4. Okay, just to recap, we went to Monaco, then we went to Saint Tropez, and we ended the trip in Cannes. And the very last night we had together, we were at dinner, and I'm walking to go to the bathroom, and I fall, and everything goes black. And let me tell you, I am a clumsy person. I know I'm a clumsy person. I'm always tripping over myself. And that day specifically, I had been tripping over my dress pretty frequently throughout the day. But I've never had like a serious accident before like this. And it was completely out of the blue. I was walking up the stairs, and I remember walking up the stairs, and the stairs in France are extremely narrow. If you've been, then you definitely would probably agree with me. And so,
no, bitch, we haven't been.
Basically, came to after falling, hitting my head, and I see these three men above me, and they're wearing like these bright turquoise polos, and I remember that they were the waiters. That was what they were wearing. And I remember just like coming awake and being like, what the fuck is happening? But no one was speaking any English. They're all like screaming in French, freaking out. And so I pass out again, and I come to again, and finally I'm able to say, someone go get my boyfriend, and then I pass out again, then I come to again, and then my
boyfriend.
ex is sitting next to me, and I see him, and I'm like, what is going on? He's like, I don't know what happened. I think you fell. And I'm like, I don't remember anything. I don't know what happened. And he looked at me, he goes, do you have a history with epilepsy? I'm like, epilepsy? No, I don't have any history with that. I was like, why? He said, because you've been having seizures for the past 10 minutes. And I was like, seizures? I have never, ever had a seizure in my life. So this was shocking news, but I also wasn't like all the way there. So I was just so confused at what was happening. And I remember touching my head, and then I looked at my hand, and there was so much blood. And then I like started looking around, and everything felt wet. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was going to the bathroom. So I look at him and I ask him, I'm like, is this pee? He was like, no, they just like dumped water on you. And I was like, okay. And so they basically told us that because the streets in Cannes are so...
That's funny as fuck. She was passed out on the ground. Somebody took a bucket of water, was like, wax these bitch up. Hey, yo. Oh my God. Oh, oh man. What do we do? Call the ambulance? No, just dump some water on her. Wake these bicho. That's funny, man.
No, they couldn't bring an ambulance. It had to be a fire truck, which I didn't care. I just wanted to get to the hospital. So these firemen come and they get me up, and I stand up, I look down, look at the puddle of water, then I smell my dress. I go, oh my gosh, this is urine. So you're telling me that I've been dating this man for 3 days, and he is now sitting in a pool of my urine and my blood, watching me have seizures. I was just so, I couldn't believe that this was the reality of what was happening. I get into the truck, and they take us to the hospital, and I'm still freaking out at this point because I literally don't know if I have like a severe brain bleed or what's going on. And they take us into the waiting room, and they're about to take us back. And I remember the nurse said that my ex couldn't go back with me because they still had super strict restrictions from COVID. So he had to wait in the waiting room. And I remember just freaking out because no one is speaking English at this point. And I don't know what to do. I'm so terrified. I feel...
Hey, you remember back at the beginning when she said the worst thing that could happen to her was the dude being a little crazy and she'd have to get her own hotel room? I think this is significantly worse.
So alone, and I remember just looking at him, and he could just see the fear in my eyes, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. He's like, just stay calm. I was like, okay. And he ends up leaning into me before they tell him that it's time to go. And he tells me, before you go, I just wanted to tell you that I love you. And I just remember being like, really? Here, of all places? He was like, yeah, I wanted to tell you. And I said, I mean, I was so grateful to hear it from him, but also I was like, are you only telling me this because you think I'm about to die? And so a lot of things were going through my head. And I ended up going back, getting a CT scan. They ended up saying, hey, everything's good. You just have a severe concussion, hence why I had seizures. And they're like, you're going to have.
I think she got on the plane with a concussion. I think she got CTE. You know, maybe she used to play a sport back in the day and she got knocked around a lot because she got CTE. Like she's like, don't she operate like a feminine female Antonio Brown? Just crazy as hell.
4 stitches in your eyebrow. You guys can kind of see the scar. I'm wearing makeup, so you can't really tell. So after I get my stitches, I go back out to the waiting room and I see my ex, and I automatically just feel this sense of protection and safety because he made me feel so calm, and I was just so grateful to him. And if you watched the Who the Fuck Did I Marry series, I truly believe that this whole experience was the equivalent to Risa Tisa's tire blowout before she met her ex-husband. And God was telling me to run far away from this man. My bad on misinterpreting this message. And I just thought that this was God's way of telling me that this man's going to keep me safe. And clearly, that wasn't the case. But we leave the hospital and we go back to the hotel. And obviously, I couldn't sleep because I had a severe concussion. So we just stayed up talking all night. And the next day, I went to go get all my prescriptions, and then we went to the airport. And it was a really, really tough goodbye because I was just so sad to say goodbye to him. And he had already booked a flight to come visit me in Dallas in 10 days. He booked it before I even went to Monaco because he told me he was so sure of me and of us. And so I knew I was going to see him in a little bit over a week, but it just wasn't enough. And I just wanted to be with him 24/7. But I said my goodbyes to him, and I was like, you know what? It's going to be okay. I'm going to see him soon. Hopped on the plane and went back to Dallas. And it was really difficult to come home for multiple reasons. The biggest reason was that I had to tell my parents that not only did I have this crazy accident, but I also am in love with this man that lives in Denmark. And that's just not a easy conversation to have with a Nigerian parents. And if you know Nigerian parents, or if you have Nigerian,
I bet it wasn't. This was her father. I'll tell you. Okay, I'm sorry. I hate when people laugh at their own jokes. I'm sorry. Her father was like, so did you fall in love before or after you bumped your head? Hmm? No, dear. This is important. Did you fall in love with him before or after you bumped your head? Oh, you confessed your love before you bumped your head. Okay. Okay. Wait. So you confessed your love, and then he didn't tell you he loved you back, and then you bumped your head, and in the hospital he told you he loved you, and he's royalty from where? Okay, he's Danish royalty, honey. He's Danish royalty. Yes, they're Danish. So she bumped her head and fell in love with Danish royalty. My daughter. The technology expert. She works in technology because she is so smart. But she bumped her head and now she's in love. She's never had a boyfriend. I've never met anyone. Have you? No? Never had a boyfriend ever. Her poor father. Her poor father.
Parents, you can already assume how this unfolded. Obviously, they support me and they love me and they're wonderful parents, but they were also scared and like, what are you telling me right now? But I dropped the ball, and over time, like they were so supportive of me and my decisions. I will say the bigger challenge was healing from the head injury because I was just doing crazy ass shit. Like I remember I got into the shower with my socks on and I ran out the door with my bonnet on, chasing Smokey through the streets because I thought he ran away, even though he was inside the house. And to this day, I still think I have lingering effects because I'll add all these filler words and like what I want to say in my head.
Look, man, my boy was already finna finesse you, and then I think the concussion was part of the feeling. He put something in her drink, she fell, and now she's in concussion protocol. So now she's in concussion protocol, right for the scam. I can't wait to get to the point where he asks her for $6,000.
Think it, but I can't figure out the words sometimes. And it's very frustrating at times. And you will notice it throughout the series. And it's not something I used to do. But overall, I'm fine. My brain's fine. So obviously, we're talking on the phone every single day because, we're in a relationship. And he calls me and he says, hey, I'm considering offering on this apartment complex in Copenhagen. And we had talked about his real estate investments back in the south of France. He told me that he owned 3 apartments in Copenhagen, 2 of which were rented out, one of which he was occupying as his personal residence. And this apartment complex he was interested in had 34 units, and then there was a top floor that was unfinished and it could be converted to 10 penthouses. And he said it's fully rented out. It would be such a great investment. The cash flow is great. The only thing is that it's going to take up a lot of my cash liquidity and also like stocks and crypto.
There we go. This is what I was waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for the whole time. I've been waiting for the money. And she's talking and she's telling this story. She's glowing. She's in concussion protocol. You know what I'm saying? And she has no reason to think this is anything weird because he done already booked a flight to come to Dallas. He's coming to see her. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Someone said finally someone's scamming a Nigerian. That is gonna be the caption for my TikTok videos. That's good. Finally, someone scamming a Nigerian is hilarious. That is funny. What's even funnier is that on my hand, instead of writing Nigerian, I wrote Niger. And that's not a slur. I just didn't finish the IAN for YouTube in case they try to play with me. Because Nigerian is spelled Nigerian. But if I didn't put the IAN at the end of it on my hand, it's just really, really funny for me personally. And I thought I'd share that with you people in case you wanted to laugh.
Everything. And obviously I'm going to be traveling to the States and I want to be mindful of like finances. That's why I like want to bring it up to you. So what do you think? And I said, well, at this point, we had been dating for like a couple weeks. So I didn't feel like I was in a place where I could insert my opinion. So I told him, like, whatever you think, I'll support you. And I also didn't know jack shit about real estate investments in Copenhagen. And also, I had just gone to the south of France with him. That whole entire trip, I had spent 15 euros the entire trip. I tried to pay for stuff. He would not take a dime from me. So at this point, I like almost am like searching for a way to prove to him that I'm not with him for his money. So I told him, I go, if I need to, take on some more of like the financial responsibilities in this relationship, I'm more than happy to do so because this is a partnership and you're there for me when I need you, and I'm going to be there for you when you need me.
What's all this there for you when I need you? All this. What's all this? You've known this man for a couple of months, and you talking about giving him serious money. You see, why can't good men ever find women like this? Why can't good men ever find women like this? And I think I find women like this all the time. I've probably dated women like this. I just don't ask them for money. It's hard for me as a man to fix my mouth to ask a woman for some money. I think I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna start. Because women got money. As a matter of fact, if you want to hit my Cash App, any of you lovely ladies that are entertained by me, my Cash App is $ Brandon and Jamal. It's in the bio. If any of you women with money, want to send me some bread, cause she getting finessed out of some good money on. I don't think it's a finesse if you just supporting the guy who entertains you. So I'm just saying, women got money. I'm gonna start asking y'all for it. I need a hair. If anybody wants to pay for my haircut, it's $40. I give a $20 tip. I'm finna start asking y'all for money, cause y'all got it. I feel like I've been a sucker living my whole life, never asking women for money. I'm finna start asking y'all for money, cause y'all be having it and you be giving it to men, and I be dicking them down. Like, why shouldn't I ask him for money? No, I'm not down bad. I like money. And I think I'm finna start asking. I've never thought about that potential income. Asking women for money. So yeah, you can support the channel. It's in the bio, specifically the ladies, cause y'all be giving bad men money. You might as well give a good man some. Shit, I be cracking y'all up. I'm just saying, you might as well hit the Cash App since y'all be feeling generous. Or should I like sell you some fake something to finesse you out of it? All right, look. I'm not just gonna ask you for money. Um, I'm looking to invest in a barbershop, but I have to go around and trying all the barbers, and all of my all of my finances are tied up in stocks and investments. So it's hard for me to have regular access to my liquid cash. So I opened a Cash App in case you were feeling generous. So I don't have to worry about contacting my bank in Sweden every single day just to get $100 or 200, because I have to go through so many channels just to get my money available to me here in the States, because we started this account in Sweden, you know, um, and it's going very well. I just, right now, you know, especially because it's after hours, like it's this time of night, it's hard for me to get access to this money. So, if you want to, that's literally how y'all be getting finessed. Did that even sound good to you? Like, how did that sound to you? Did that sound good? The Tinder swindler. The Tinder swindler. Exactly. I'm telling you, I'm finna start asking y'all for money. Unapologetically. Because y'all be giving it. Like, I want some. Shit. I want some of them chitlins. I love pig feet. I don't want no chitlins, for real, though.
And he said, I appreciate you saying that, but I don't think it's going to come to that. But thank you for saying that. I said, of course. So he offers on it, and his offer wins apparently by like €1,000. And he decides he's going to move forward with this property maybe a couple of days before he came to visit me in Dallas. And I was fully supportive of him buying this property, 100%, because he's a successful businessman. And if he thinks this is a smart move, then I trust him. And also, the money was a whole separate other thing. I didn't care.
You see how she's telling this story like she would do this shit again. Like, she's like, yeah. And like, this is who he is. This is this guy.
All I cared about was being with him. So he's coming to Dallas, and I'm getting excited, not just because he's coming to see me, but this is a trip where he's going to start to meet my people, and it's getting real. And so I remember he was flying into Dallas. It's the middle of September, and I made this sign. It said, "Welcome to Dallas, my Danish man." And I'm waiting outside baggage claim, waiting for him to get through customs. And I'm holding this sign super high, waiting for him to come through. And I will continue the rest in part 5.
Yeah, part 5. We'll get to part 5 tomorrow night. Because it's finally entertaining. I hate that. Actually, you know what? I don't hate that I sat through parts 1 and 2. Because, ladies, we really need to come together here. Okay? How did millions of y'all make it through 30 minutes, 24 minutes of this before it got interesting? Parts 1 and 2 were just full of her flexing on you hoes. She just dropped name brands and places and talked about ladies. Ladies. I know she was dragging it, but you watched it. This isn't about her. This is about the woman in the mirror. And if you're a woman who watches my content, you know I love you. Because you watch my content despite at least a couple of women that you know who don't like me. So you know I love you dearly. Married women love my content. They be sitting there watching me with their husband and shit. And y'all know me. If you somebody's girlfriend or you somebody's wife, we cousins. I don't want you. I'll never want you. That's disgusting. I've never looked at a woman and thought, wow, she probably got penetrated yesterday or today. I really want some of that. It's never crossed my mind. You somebody's woman, we cousins. I don't want you. Never. So you know when I talk to you, it's out of love. This is what y'all watch on TikTok? Hmm? Now, if she would have started, like she could have, part one could have been 45 seconds. Part two could have been 55 seconds. Part three could have been a cool 5 minutes. Towards the back end and got decent. Part four was alright. It really showed how dumb she was. It brought out her character. You know, I really appreciated part four. But the fact that parts one and parts two made you want to watch part three, child. Child. And the best part about the women that watch my channel, they can laugh at themselves. You know, I once had a single mom of 8 call me and say, I love your content. Never change. Single mom of 8. That's why I kept my foot on the gas with the now you a single mom shit, because if she laughed, then who are you to get offended? I just want you to think next time you scroll. You know what? I'm just going to start making up stories about my travel experiences at the beginning. I'm going to be like, so let me tell you about the time that I was in Ibiza. And I'm going to be like, psych, I wasn't in Ibiza. And then I'll just talk for the rest of the content. But that's what's going to get you. I'll constantly throw in like hot button places that sound expensive. Because that's how she got y'all to watch that shit. You know, when I was in Stockholm, flexing on you hoes, like, if you've ever been to the such and such in San Tropez, bitch, ain't nobody ever been there. She listened to Drake a lot. She was probably making it up. No, I believe her wholeheartedly. This not you don't talk that long and give that many details to elaborate about some shit that you didn't do. I believe all of this. This is 100% true. For sure. For sure. Cuz it's not like she's saying anything outlandish. The only thing outlandish is her behavior. Honestly. And also, I'm going to tell you 100% why I know it's true. She's Nigerian. Why would a Nigerian fabricate any details about a story of them getting finessed? That right there gives her story credibility alone. You hear me? Mm-mm. Can we forget this only happened because he was really attractive? No, regular, even with money, could pull this off. I know you watch red pill content because you're echoing red pill sentiment. Attractive men have it easier with women, blah blah blah. No shit, bro. Just like attractive women have it easier with men. Like it's everybody knows this. Red pill content just says a bunch of things that regular people already know. Your problem is You grew up in an age of participation trophies. You think everybody's supposed to have the same outcome for everything all the time. You get upset when people look better and they get better results with women. Duh. That's life, bro. You needed a red pill podcast to tell you that? Y'all be like, well, red pill isn't just slamming on women, it's telling you to get your money and get fit. You needed a red pill podcast to tell you to go to the gym and make money? Everything y'all say defending red pill, all they do is say common sense shit with confidence. And they talk shit about women and you eat it up. Everyone assumes you're a red pill. That's because they're stupid. I've said for a long time I'm not red pill. I constantly tell y'all that. And if you make that assumption, you're stupid and I don't respect how you think anyway. If I tell you something directly and you still think otherwise, you're stupid and I won't respect how you think. I swear. I think it's really funny that, you know what? I'm just finna get to yapping. So, I gotta edit the caption of this video. It was parts 1 through 4. Tomorrow night, we're gonna go through part 5. We'll probably get edited at like 8 o'clock. By the way, go stream Crop Top. Y'all told me to put it online. Really, TikTok told me to put it. TikTok told me to put it online, and I gotta start making backup TikTok pages because once the roaches get a hold of my TikTok page, it's only a matter of time before I have to move out because of a roach infestation. Because nobody can live somewhere with a roach infestation. You have to move out. That's just how it works. Um, so God bless y'all. You folks have a nice evening. And if I can leave you with any words, stop watching red pill content, man. It's not good for you. It's not good for you. Stop watching feminist I hate men content. It's not good for you. It's not good for you. They're literally fueling the gender war, and they're making people who make money off of war do not want war to stop. They don't want men and women to be happy with each other because of their own pain and misery and sorrow that they're projecting as strength because they make money off of your insecurities. Cooley told y'all that single moms are generally recreational use only, and he wifed a single mom of 2. I'm the now you a single mom guy, and I've never once told you you shouldn't date single moms because I don't care what you do with your life. Who am I to tell you what to do? Myron and Walter told you you shouldn't deal with promiscuous women, and both of them were going in SWs raw because they both had pregnancy scares with SWs. That means you're going in a SW raw. Like you never had coochie before you got money for real. So you don't even know what type of coochie not to go in raw. Raw, raw. Both of yous, and y'all still watch. Your boy Andrew spends so much time talking down to women, single moms and stuff. But the single mom that he wifed is just better with all of those children. I'm sorry, what, sir? I'm just saying. All these people who tell you how they should live, they probably not living the way the way you would like. More importantly, if they do have wives and stuff, girlfriends, I know they ain't cute. I'll give you a perfect example, and I'm taking a direct shot because I saw you like I got issues with any black men content creators who want to be seen and doing things with Myron after you saw that he's a card carrying racist. After you saw that he was begging to be the lapdog in a supremacist chat room. How can you still have respect for that man? Angry Man channel. Angry Man channel. Angry Man. And you from North Carolina. You supposed to be realer than that, bro. I don't know. I Any black man who still listens to anything that comes out of Myron Gaines' mouth is, you know what you are. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what you are. You know you a bitch. In all my years of conflict, Phil's got that heat. Violence, you know you a bitch. Slaughter. It was never personal. You know you a bitch. But what I'm about to do is this lying ass, deadbeat, daddy ass nigga. I'm gonna enjoy it very much. Boy, you know you a bitch. This nigga know you a bitch. Boy, you know you a bitch. This nigga know you a son got take it. You a bitch. This nigga know you a bitch. You know you a bitch. This nigga know you a bitch. This nigga know you a bitch. Boy, you know you a bitch. This nigga know you a bitch. You folks have a good night. I'll see y'all tomorrow night for part 5 of the Danish Deception.